Daniel. And we are very fortunate again today dahil we have, siyempre,
Pinakamatikas na
Mayor ng Manila ngayon. And we would like to welcome, of course, our Mayor, Francisco Isko Moreno. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and thank you again for this opportunity. Magandang umaga sir. Oh, Happy Manila Day.
Yes, yun ang pinaka-importante today dahil kailan lang pinagdiwang natin ang Kika 455th anniversary, yes, so, ng Maynila. So from then on, ano na ba ngayon ang Manila?
yung first question muna. 455th anniversary ng araw ng Manila. Ang first time yata ginawa ang State of the City address sa Quirino Grandstand. So, yung first question natin, bakit doon ginawa?
Well, thank you. Ang naisip kasi namin, with all the hardship internally ng city government with regard to grave fiscal mismanagement, with all the situation, anxiety of our people, maybe not only in Manila, but all over the country, and the people of the Filipino abroad, with regard to the flood control scandal, then pinatungan ka pa ng Iran-America war. All these things happening, parang we wanted to come up with an idea to celebrate the establishment of the city of Manila with the people. Usually kasi, kami-kami lang yan. It's a city officials event. Oo, kami-kami lang yan. But this time, dahil ito'y piyesta ng Manila, mas minabuti namin na i-involve ang mamamayan ng Maynila. Na maramdaman nila kahit na hirap ang buhay, parang yung isang nanay, yung isang tatay sa loob ng bahay, di ba? Pag piyesta, di ba? Iniraraos mo. Kasi it gives you hope eh. One, pagkapistahan, normal na kapistahan, ang kostumbre at tradisyon ng Pilipino, ipagpasalamat sa Diyos o sa buon ng particular na geografiya, yung mga bagay na meron sila. And to continue to be hopeful. So, adapting to that custom and tradition, yun ang ginawa namin. We invited almost, at least, one person in every street of the city. Pag tinignan mo yung demographics ng invited, buong Maynila talaga yun. Tapos, gusto kong maramdaman nila na, may liwanag ang buhay. Kumbaga, there is a light,
The end of the tunnel.
the end of the tunnel. Para maging hopeful, masaya, good vibes, cheer, bonding ng community, even yung mga barangay official na hindi nagpapangita, kasi sa ibang barangay sila, organization, businesses. Then, gusto rin namin bigyan ng pagkakataon yung ibang mga Manileño na matikman yung mga pagkain magagaling na kinikilala ngayon sa Maynila, whether it is Fusion Alley, whether it is Sugbo, whether it is Pandakan, whether it is Tondo, Sampaloc. Kaya makikita mo halos lahat doon ay mga sumikat na Manileño na nagtitinda. So, yun ang gusto naming atmosphere. An event, a celebration, but people-centered celebration. At the same manner, we wanted to report yung ano na ang kalalagayan ng lungsod after 1 year.
Ano na nga po ba ang kalalagayan ng lungsod after 4 years na pamumuno po ninyo sa Maynila?
Actually, 1 year pa lang ulit. Kasi yung 3 years, kung muna, we're okay eh. Despite the pandemic, economically, domestic, local. we're doing fine, but when I left, we were shocked of the situation. But we try to, instead of pointing fingers, but we don't. It is our obligation to state facts. No? It's not about pointing fingers. After stating facts, we created some actions, financial engineering, behavior, discipline, efficiency. After 1 year from the ICU, I think financial ICU, yung Maynila. I think, modesty aside, today we can honestly state and say we are in the recovery room. Ibig sabihin, we are not still off the hook. If we misbehave with regard to management of our limited resources, we may suffer the same thing. But for now, I am grateful to the taxpayers. That's one, primary. Second, I am grateful to City Hall bureau chiefs and department heads and its employees, because everyone is really participated, contributed to our recovery and growth for the last 12 months since July 1 of 2025.
Nabanggit mo yung flood na. Nabalitaan ko, pinahukay mo yung likod ng City Hall. Ginawa ng culvert para pagka mag-iimbakan na ng mga COVID lang. Tapos na ka.
Yung before I left, during that term, in 2019-2022, I commissioned a study, drainage study of the city. And it came up with drainage master plan. When I assume, I received it because natapos yung plan, yung study, I think March of 2025. But it was not attended. But when I assume this new mandate, binasa kagad namin yung drainage. Doon na namin nakita na mga drainage system ng Manila walang chat group. Hindi nag-uusap, hindi nagpapangita. Sabi namin. Kasi maraming gumagawa ng drainage, no? Para lang for purposes of public information. Kayang gumawa ng MMDA, kayang gumawa ng lokal na pamahalaan, kayang gumawa ng DPWH. At the same manner, kinakalkal din natin yung ating mga ilalim ng lupa sa kalsada ng mga private sectors. Ayan yung Manila Water, Maynila, or even other communication cables. No? So maraming gumagalaw ng kalsada. So having said that, sabi ko, sige, mag ka yung drainage master plan kung i-implement natin. This is now all over the city. All over the city to. Whether it is from Espanya in Mabuhay and in Arten in Navotas, Manila, whether it is in Vito Cruz, Pasay, Vito Cruz, Makati, San Juan, Manila, Quezon City, Manila, no? At Caloocan, Manila, Arpapa. This is all over the city. It take about 140 billion, which we don't have. Now, sabi ko, best effort tayo. Basta ito, i-share natin yung Drainage Master Plan sa MMDA, i-share natin sa DPWH. Moving forward, anything that they do now, with regard to whether it is 100 meters, 50 meters, or 500 meters, drainage renovation, construction is in line with the Drainage Master Plan. And that, in our case, siyempre limited ang aming resources, we started sa sarili namin bakuran. Kasi how can you be good at your neighbors in your own backyard, di ba? Sabi ko, there is a principle behind it. Dapat subukan natin kasi talaga naman binaba ang city nung araw pa. pero hanggang bukong-bukong lang. Oh. Noong nakaraang taon, ba umabot na ng tuhod. So there must be a problem. So we started there, and that's what you saw, yung about culvert. Itong culvert na to, meron ditong single barrel, double barrel, and triple barrel. May mga area,
Parang 45 lang.
talagang pinilit namin i-maximize despite the challenges of above, on top of it is there is also ng LRT. It's an engineering challenge. But we did. Lahat yun. Hanggang doon sa UDM, hanggang dito sa flagpole na luma natin, kung saan si Mayor Lacson. Tapos, yung papuntang SM. So, Loto, Naroceros, lahat. All the way to pumping station ng MMDA. Which in this case, in fairness to Chairman Artes, nangako siya na i-double capacity niya yung pumping station via Pasig River doon sa likod ng Comelec, NTC, SDO. May pumping station doon. So, ngayon, nung nagawa na yung culvert, yung backbone nagawa na, nag-fishbone na kami. Kaya makikita mo na yung mga malalaking tubo naman, nakatusok yun doon sa culvert. Konektado na. At may awa ang Diyos, I cannot still promise you. Is it effective now? I cannot guarantee you that yet because doon pa lang naman kami sa bakod namin. Magre-receive din kami ng mga tubig via San Marcelino, via Remoldes, sa amin din na takbo niyan. Loton. But for the meantime, I think 3 beses na bang lumakas ang ulan since June.
Walang baha.
Awa ng Diyos. Awa ng Diyos. We don't want to be ahead of ourselves, but so far, awa ng Diyos. Mukhang napapakinabangan ngayon.
Wala na yung tubig sa buong-buong.
Sana. But with the climate changing so fast, para the load of water may be different from last year to this year. But for the meantime, if there's some level of assurance to the community members, business sector in the area, and institution, ang tawag natin doon, ample compliance naman.
Kumusta Mayor yung mga pumping station na na-discover ninyo na hindi gumagana? Ito, di ba ang request ninyo sana kayo na ang magmamanage?
Ayan, we requested that for the simple reason, siguro kayo na humusga. Kapag tinanganan namin, talagang kahit 24 oras namin kalkalin ng mga tubo niyan, okay lang. Kasi minsan, alam mo, ito kasi national. Pag itingnan mo talaga, sila yung North Star. No? Pagbaba ng programa, maraming kusinero. Kaya kung minsan, panis na. No?
Pagdating.
Kumbaga, alam natin pare-pareho. So we wanted to act fast and to confront it fast. That's why we requested. But in fairness to President Bongbong Marcos Jr., we were told we will address it. Then came Secretary Vince Dizon. The Sunog Apog is now running and is going to be fully operational at the end of the year. Now, yesterday, I think you heard Secretary Vince, yung nirequest namin na yung mga pumping station sa Roas Boulevard na di baterya. Gusto yata nila EV. But kidding aside, totoo, di baterya talaga.
Di ba
yung generator.
Okay.
Kasi naging habit nga na gagawa ang national government, hindi hihingi ng building permit. Ang katwiran nila, national government sila. Ang hindi nila naiintindihan, pag wala silang building permit, hindi sila bibigyan ng kuryente ng Meralco. Yun. Kasi hinihingan ka ng structure, electrical, and so on and so forth. So for so many years, it's not being done. Now, when Secretary Vincent na, talk to itself. Sabi ko, pare, ako nang tutulong. Padadala ko sa inyo si Randy Sada. Tulungan namin kayo. I-restructure yung design and so on and so forth. But it was funded and done. I have to give credit to MMDA. I have to give credit to DPWH. And I have to give credit to President Marcos. Because they've been attending to it. So, kahapon, tumakbo na yung isang pumping station. I think it's a Pedro Hill pumping station. Dalawa pa. Abad saka, I think, Taura. So, they're on track. Both national government, MMDA and DPWH. Now, marami pa na dapat talagang mga pumping station ay mamana. Kaya ba ng MMDA i-maintain? Kasi lahat ng gumaganang pumping station ay tangan-tangan ng MMDA. Yung mga hindi gumana, hindi ma-entrega ng DPWH sa Maynila o sa MMDA kasi wala nang hindi ka matakbo. Siyempre, hindi naman tatanggapin ng MMDA. Hindi rin naman namin tatanggapin. Saan ka naman nakakita sa dampa? Nung nawala yung Motolite, hindi gumana yung, yung pumping station kasi may sira yung baterya. This is literal. This is not metaphor. It happened in Damka area. So now, I think things are being put into right order. There is now synchrony in action, sharing of information, plans and programs from national to local. So, hindi namin kailangan tangananan. And now we believe because there is already a result. And I hope this type of results or results that is happening will continue to have a better results for our people, especially in the Paco area. Inabangan namin kasi nagawa na ng MMDA yung nasirang floodgate nung may malakas sa bagyo. And all over the city, hopefully.
Okay. So, tapos na muna tayo dyan sa flood problems. Yung kung problema naman ng mga, or yung issue ng mga schools natin, how safe are our schools right now after this naganap na shooting spree?
Ganun kaya kami nilabas na memorandum.
This is it goes to everyone. Not only us as a city. It is now an issue bothering parents. I think whether it is private or as a parent, when you send your kids to school, you feel comfortable because it's a safe space. And you believe in our teachers to be the second parents of our children. But I don't know if we can blame technology alone or we can blame the economic situation, or we can blame, or maybe we can blame and blame and blame. But you cannot hide the facts na nangyayari. At posible bang mangyari muli? Posible. Dala ng exposure ng minor de edad sa mga impormasyong hindi pa nababagay sa kanyang edad. Because of access to such visual aid and unfiltered information. Kasi nung bata tayo, huwag ka manood yan. Di ba, ginaganon tayo ng airmat natin, bawal sa iyan. Di ba? Ginaganon tayo ng bata tayo. So na, yung pagkuha natin ng impormasyon sa paglago at paglaki bilang bata at bilang tao sa pamayanan, dahan-dahan natin nakukuha. Ngayon, imbudo, salok na salok. Kaya, ang confusion ng isang minor de edad with regard to this information, ang taas. Kaya akala okay lang. Kaya akala nila, di ba, ngayon, anong pinagtatalunan ngayon, di ba, yung civil and criminal liability. Because may mga urot. Kirahin mo yan. Wala kang oblo dyan. Kaya mo yan. mamaya kukunin ka ng nanay mo, o tapos uwi ka na. You know, but because of this situation, lumalala. Pwede pa ba mangyari? Posible. Are we safe in Manila? We wanted to. We're working on it. But can we prevent this happening? We are trying na hopefully malimitahan o wag maganap. So that's why Cesar and I, si Chief Cesar Chavez, si Wardy Quintos, si Attorney Lutz, MPs, we came up with an idea, okay, let's create a task force, whole government approach. When I say whole government approach, it speaks of local government. No? Kami-kami. No? So LESPO, teacher, school, institution, parents, or what you call PTA, the city government, now created a task force. And we're going to meet on, Cesar, Monday, no? Monday, after the directional meeting, we will convene immediately. Now, yun yung for us to put another time, effort, and resources on top of what is existing now with regard to the safety of our public school or institution. We will reinforce our things that we are doing as we speak. Then, I came up with an idea to be presented to the task force. And after that, maybe to be presented before the Sangguniang Panglunsod. To come up with the law. Like, for example, for the sake of conversation, for the sake of this morning. And correct me now if you have some ideas and tamang habang dinidiskurso namin. Una, if any students found with deadly weapon and firearms inside the school, expulsion proceedings will proceed. And when you are expelled in the public school, 104 of it, 100 plus of it, owned and operated both by DepEd and City of Manila. Hindi ka na makapag-aaral.
Sa Manila.
Sa Manila. Punta ka Caloocan, punta ka City, punta ka. Sa Manila. No. Then you will never have the privilege of being accepted to PLN and UDN for free tertiary education. That's one part. Second part, if you are involved in riots and rumble outside of schools, immaterial of time, and officially documented by barangay or police, if you were in Blacker ba, in Blacker natin mo, you will be expelled in Manila. Pwede ka pa rin mag-aaral. Ulitin ko, doon ka sa labas ng Manila. Third, if you were reported officially bullying one person inside the institution, you will be processed for expulsion and pay the same price and gravity of penalty. Pag titignan mo, initially, while I believe, siguro hindi naman nakaila sa inyo, MBN gaya ko minimum basic needs. I believe in housing, education, healthcare, and jobs creation. While I believe that it is a right of any citizen to be makapag-aral, pero yung karapatang yaon ay may nakaatang ding responsibilidad bilang mamamayan. Whether you're minor de edad or sakto sa gulang. So, kaya kailangan tayo maging responsable sa ating pamayanan, sa ating sarili, sa ating pamayanan. sa komunidad na ating pinabibilangan. Kasi nung araw, alam niyo yung sansuwi, hindi lang sa nanay, sa tatay yun eh. Yung sansuwi, sansut-sut uwi. Nung araw yung teacher namin, pag gumanyan,
Isa ka nakukuha pa sa tingin.
oh,
Diba? Kuha ka
yeah,
sa
I'm not
tingin.
saying the new law is bad in protecting students. Maybe there are issues of abuses in the institution. But generally, nung araw, naku, pagka nakurot ka sa singit, nahila ng yung patilya mo, sa tenga, nabid ka. Why it's being done? Because you created a mistake and you are being disciplined. You know what? I don't know both of you and to our... Did we take it against our teacher? I can only speak for myself. I did not.
Ah.
In fact, naalala ko pa yung teacher ko no.
Naalala ko rin yung communicated sa
Oo.
pinag-uusapan ng aming mga...
Oo, di
Pero,
ba? We didn't take it against them.
Nababato tayo ng eraser.
Eraser,
Oo.
chalk.
Yeah.
Oh, tapos put map pa.
Oo.
Oh, face the wall.
Face-
Oh, tapos pat-pat mo, lalapat mo yung yung kalat mo.
Ruler.
Di ba yung panturo sa pisara? Lahat kayo gising eh. So the point is, anyway, those are the days. Now, maybe there is a new environment, new sets of people, but I think we have to empower more. I hope the national government will address this, especially the national legislature. Empower our teacher. Equip them with better laws. Instead of crucifying teachers when they're disciplining the students, di ba marami kasi kinukrucify kagad yung teacher. Pinapako kagad sa krus yung teacher pag dinidisiplina niya. Kaya yung mga ATAPs, lumalakas ang loob. Lumalakas ang loob. Naku, hindi mo ako pwede saktan. Ipakukulong kita.
Nagamit din yung bata sa yung policy, violence against women and children.
That's why, alam mo, ewan ko walang masamang mangopya sa mga mauunlad na bansa. Maybe many or few, is guilty of copying.
Yes, cheating.
Copying programs of governance, laws sa mga developed countries. Ngunit, bago ko ito kopyahin, ibinabagay ko yung kopyahin programa o batas sa kultura, kostumbre at tradisyon natin bilang Pilipino. Kasi may mga bagay na maganda para sa kanila. O halimbawa, ONAX. Maganda sa kanila. Pero culturally and customarily, iba naman kung ano nila eh. Ang family concept nila eh. Tayo ba, tinatapon natin yung matatanda natin sa facility? Hindi. Hanggang sa uling hininga. Sa Estados Unidos, ang thinking nila, hindi kasi hindi nila mahal ang lolo't lola nila o nanay tatay lang. Ang thinking nila, you'll be in a better healthcare facility. See? Tingnan ninyo. Ayun, pareho-pareho, di ba? Pagmamahal, pero may kaiba ng approach. So I think that goes also with our rules in managing students inside our schools. So yun yung tatlong bagay na maniniwala ako, mahalagang edukasyon, naniniwala ako, importante ito, naniniwala akong bagay na puhunan ng pamahalaan. Ngunit, ang mga benepisyaryo nito, which is ang ating mag-aaral, ay may responsibilidad na nakaatang. Kaya, it's gonna be hard in the coming days for the students of Manila if they are going to commit such possible unnecessary activities. Ulitin natin kami ni Cesar nagdidiskurso kami dito. Ang insidente sa eskwelahan, hindi lang nagsimula yan sa eskwelahan. Pare-pareho, shoutout sa mga nag-aaral sa public school. Hindi yan sa loob ng eskwelahan, sa loob ng classroom. Minsan, abangan pa lang yan sa kanto. Abangan ako sa kadadaan. Kaya kami, tatawa kami. Nagsisimula rin ng gulo sa labas. So we included. So those who are going to participate in riots that you see, di ba? Mga ATABs na yun. Nako, ingat kayo mga bata. Lalayo ang eskwelahan ninyo. Mapupunta kayo sa Quezon City, sa Caloocan, sa ibang bayan. It can be somewhere else, but not in Manila. Why? Habang dinidisiplina namin yung iilan, we are now looking at the greater numbers of parents and students and teachers' safety while they are inside our institution. Ito ba yung takda, sapat, na pamamaraan? I don't know yet. But, are we gonna do this? Yes, we are going to do this.
Mayor, may dagdag ko lang, yung mga makikitang guilty sa mga 9 votes, mga ganyan kaguluhan. Ano naman po ang magiging parang penalty o kaparusahan doon sa mga magulang kung sakaling ganyan may iba dyan, mga recidivist na ng kabataan, tapos ganyan pa rin.
Alam mo yung curfew namin? Talagang 1-2. 1-2 sawa namin inuhuli. Yung isang gabi lang Ilan ang tinira namin doon sa Solving Boy sa isang computer shop. Sa Lakandula. It's a continuing process, but at the same time, we continue to believe in existing laws that protects the children and the parents. Limited. Hindi ko naman sinasabing nakaposas ang kamay ng pamahalaan sa pagpapatupad. Particular, attending to minors. Now, anong kaparusahan ng magulang? Nako, hindi po ako lawyer. I hope those who are watching correct me if I'm wrong. Maaring pamisa-misan, medyo magulungin, hindi kasi kahit ako nalilito na dyan sa juvenile nalilito na ako sa batas na yan. Sige, let's just say, for the sake of conversation, because we are all confused, I hope somebody will clarify these things. Di ba, wala nang criminal liability. O sa mga magulang, shout out. Hindi lahat ng walang criminal liability ay walang kaakibat na civil liability. O, halimbawa, if I remember it during our law school, may chikot ka, nakarehistro sa'yo, tapos may kaibigan ka, nasira yung sakyan. Ayan mo, pera mo muna ng chikot mo. Dinala mo, pinira mo, gamit ng kaibigan mo, naka-aksidente. Let's just say, huwag naman loobin ng Diyos, nakapatay. Siya may hoyo, ikaw may tosgas. Yung civil liability na sa'yo. The same manner, yung minor de edad, under tangan-tangan sila, at responsibilidad pa sila ng kanilang mga magulang, ay magdudugo po ang bulsa ninyo. Dahil papapanagutin mo kayo civilly ng batas. Yun yung pagkakaunawa. Don't be wrong about it. Pero yesterday yata, ang PNP filed cases, criminal charges.
Kasi more than 15 years old na siya. 15 plus 1, below 18.
Yeah, I think the criminal filing of criminal charges is now on its way, being done by the Philippine National Police.
Pero 14 anos, walang liability.
Mas marami yatang nangyari yun, mas bata.
Kanya, dahil dito na yung binigyan yung dog, yung sakita niya. Anyways, tingnan bago natin bigay sa mga natin sa media.
Okay.
Gusto mo lang natin magpasalamat sa sponsors. Nakalimutan natin kanina. Of course, salamat sa Philippine Charity States Office, sa Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation, and syempre sa Office of Manila Mayor Cristo Moreno. Dahil walang sawa silang sumusuporta dito sa ating kampihan. At i-announce ko na yung sa mga may sasakyan na nakapark, 100 pesos lang ang babayaran ninyo kasi galing kayo dito sa kampihan. Sabihin ninyo 100 lang kasi sisingin kayo 150. Sayang 50 pesos.
Okay, thank you. So now we open the floor for the questions from our media friends. Mention your name. Kilala mo naman lahat ng mga. Okay, go ahead please.
No.
Niluma na ng panahon.
Kasabayan pa namin ko yun.
Good morning, Mayor.
Morning.
Mayor, yung sinasabi niyo pong expulsion sa mga estudyante na masasangkot, ito po ba, yung panukala po ba na to, uupuan na po ba ng konseho? At urgent po ba ito, kailangan may pasa?
Depende sa task force no, that we created. Of course, it's just one person's idea. That's why you created a group of people who are expert in their respective field of undertakings to come up with a meeting and come up with a plan. Ano pa ba ang mga posible? So after that, of course, it has to be in a form of, because there's penalty, there must be an enabling law. In this case, local government, there must be an enabling ordinance that we may submit before the Sangguniang Panglungsod.
So may mga warnings din po yan bago ma-expel, Mr. Javier.
Yung expulsion proceedings there is already a rules and regulation on the process of expulsion. The ordinance that we are thinking is immediately you will be subjected to expulsion proceedings. Now, how far is the route? It is up for the group of individuals within the institution who is obliged to process expulsion proceedings.
Yorme, magandang umaga po. Aaron, Professor Manay. Yorme, balikan ko ng konti on the great fiscal mismanagement. May nasampulan na po ba, like napanagot, nakasuhan, o nakulong?
That's a very good question. No? We wanted to say that during the tawag dito, buti tinanong mo. We wanted to say that during the araw ng Maynila Soka. Kaya lang naisip ko kasi, ayoko na, bigyan na lang natin ng good vibes muna itong mga utang. Kasi sa umaga, paggising nila, may nag-away na senador, may nag-away na ganito, may nag-away na congressman. Pagtanghali, may nag-away na ganito, may nag-away na ganyan, may nagabulan, may nagtakbuhan. Pagdating ng gabi, may patayan. Sabi ko, let's just proceed. Anyway, it is official. And what I'm going to answer is official. There are two people we are awaiting for issuance of warrant of arrest. Because as I have committed, I think sinabi ko rin dito yun. Sinabi ko rito na 95% of my time will be consumed addressing the fiscal situation, yung kadugyutan ng Maynila, and the negosyo para sa trabaho. And 5% of it will go after those people. There are two different acts with regard to that fiscal mismanagement and misbehavior during that time. Inaantabayanan na lang namin, may kaso sila lahat sa COA.
So, dalawa.
Dalawa to. Kasi, pwede naman, hindi pala, dalawa. Hindi. Ano pala, sorry. Apat pala, sorry, apat. Pero kasi, yung isang act is separate. Yung isang act, merong tawag dito, kingpin ng operation. Mastermind. Tapos yung kasapakat niya. Saka yung isang kasapakat niya. At saka ito, alam mo, marami kami pwede idamay, especially politically. Alam mo, marami rin involved na individual. Kaya lang, ayaw namin kasi mag-submit ng, alam niyo, haka-haka. Gusto namin talaga, once nakuha namin dokumento, we verified it, it was an evidence and statements were made under oath. Then we let the ombudsman do its action.
Sa first call mo, di ba?
Sinabi ko, papapanagutin ko. Sabi ko sa mga taga-may.
Nandun yung mga
nandun na yun. Yung mga yun, nandun na yun. Naantabayanan lang namin.
So, just a follow-up, Yorme, how would you describe yung nangyaring great fiscal mismanagement? Bakit po ito basically nangyari?
Ano to kasi may mga, what you call this, gray area sa pamamahala ng pananalapi. When I say great, hindi siya bawal. Hindi siya bawal. It's just that lumawak yung discretion to utilize certain funds to protect political interests. Na-gets nyo? Ginamit siya sa politika, sa summa total. Kaya, biri mo, for example, although public knowledge na, sila gumagasa 447 million every single month sa JO lang. Tumatakbo ba city ngayon? Mukhang okay naman. Akot naman ng basura, may naglilinis ng halaman, may nagka-traffic, may nagpuputol ng mga damo, tumatakbo, may nagkakalkal ng kanal, and most of these people are JOs. And we are only spending 60 to 80 million a month. So you do the mathematics of it. And if you're doing it for the last 1 year, that's billions of peso. Now, Yorme, paano sila nagpailan ng kaso? Sabi mo, great. Sabi mo, pwede naman. Oo, pwede naman. Kaya lamang, may mga official statement under oath that the beneficiary is not receiving the stated numbers in the paper. Halimbawa, yung katulad ng biniro ko sa SOCA last June 24, tinanggap mo po ang kinabit niya 30. Kaya maraming JO nagka-hydrocephalus. Bukol dito. And they think tinutulungan sila ng pamahalaan. Hindi, ginamit sila ng politiko. Di ba? Yeah, binigyan kita po sa maling, 5 bulit. Pero pag tirada sa bola de kubeta, tawagin natin nung araw, tinitira ng ballpen sa kubeta yung resulta. Alam mo yun, saya lang yung sa waiting, alam mo yung bola de kubeta, doon yung bulilyo sa kubeta lang para maitama yung mga numbers. I think that the same happened. And I don't want to discuss it further, at least you have a glimpse of what they did. And these are the reason why charges were filed against them.
Andy Sumilla, Mayor. Okay, yung lifeblood ng ating pamunuan, yung taxes, can you give us a whole perspective of the business environment prevailing now in Manila, right now that you are 1 year old?
Alam mo, salamat talaga sa Diyos. Ewan ko kung mapang-usog yung laway ko. Mukhang marami akong nakusog eh. Kasi, financially speaking, same tax base. Same wala namang magagawa in 1 year. Diba? So you have the tax base of last year, prior year, and current year is almost the same. Virtually the same. Kung mayroon man uptick yan, konting-konti lang. Same tax base. Same gobyerno. And this is tax. From their side and our side, we grew by 62% ang tax efficiency collection nila. Tayo 92%. 62, 65, 60 up. Tayo 90 up. Same tax base. Pero kung saan pumasok yung buwis, hindi ko alam sa panahon nila. Nung nakita namin yung drum, puro tagas. O binili ko bevel gum.
Pinapalang ko.
Oh. So wala naman kaming ginawang
Hindi rocket science.
hindi siya rocket science. It's just that collect it properly, tapos ilagay mo sa baul, sa libreta ng gobyerno, and then naturally, it will add up. Mapupuno yung drum, kahit patak-patak. Aapaw din yun. And that cannot be denied. Because from 15 billion, tayo 20 billion, mahigit ang collectibles natin. So just imagine that. Wala pang pagdagdag ng tax base. No? That's one. Same time, July of 2024 to June 2025 nila. Tapos, year-on-year comparative, panahon natin, July 2025 to June 2026, we grew 305%. From almost 3,000, we are about 9,000 plus new businesses. In fact, kagagaling ko lang, second branch in 1 year, second branch ng BYD. And I was promised about an hour ago, the leadership of AC Mobility, that they will continue to invest in Manila and add one more center in Manila. And when you create a center, you just don't create sales lady alone. You created jobs, fixed jobs, because you need to maintain these costs. And this will be an opportunity for the people of Manila. New tax base, additional tax base, new jobs, then yung ikot ng pera, what you call velocity of money, magbubuti pa po. Kaya okay naman, awa ng Diyos. Ulitin ko, wala po kaming ginawang kakaiba. Ang ginawa lang namin, naging masino, mainam sa paggasta, yung walang kapararakang paggasta, iniwasan namin, and that is JO, one of those, biggest chunk of it, eficienteng kumulekta. Yun. Ay, tingnan po ninyo. Out of, gusto ko lang i-correct ang sarili ko, because I said it here also, and I think it's very proper to say in the same forum of a mistake that we said. Actually, it's not a mistake, because we don't have documents submitted before us at that time when there is what you call transition committee, di ba? Pag OLATS ka, panalo to, na mag-transition. Walang binigay sa amin dokumento. And we only found 10.2 billion. Dito ko sinabi yun. 10.2 billion PYO, o commercial obligation. Today, after 1 year, hindi mo na may tatago yung dokumento. Mahuli ka rin. 14.6 billion PYO or commercial obligation. Now, saying that, let me update you naman kasi iba sa inyo rito taxpayer. Out of 14.6 PYO commercial obligation na inatang nila sa akin, 8 billion paid in 1 year. On top of daily cost to operate namin. Ngayon, we have about 300 plus Judith, 307 million Judith. Si Judith kasi panay ang bisita. Maynila, Meralco, Manila. Judith na ba?
Judith.
It's all done.
Niisip ko pa, sino naman si Judith?
Zero. Manila, Manila Water, Meralco, PLDT. What we have right now is current.
Okay. Updated.
Updated na. Yun. Tapos, Yorme, di ba namutang ako? Hindi ko naman pinagkaila yun noong panahon ng pandemya. Ay, in fact, yun ang sinasabi nila. Kaya kami di nakakabayad kasi umutang si Yorme. And I've been telling everyone, no, it's not true because unang-una, hindi ka papautangin ng bangko, ng gobyerno, kung walang source. And at the time, the Supreme Court have decided already that with regard to the Mandanas ruling, and there will be windfall. So what we did is to advance the windfall in the next 10 years and create jobs and opportunity in the middle of pandemic and provide food for 700,000 families in the next 8 months. Medicine, equipment, acquisition of medical professionals, and so on. But to cut the long story short, we survived 2 million people in Manila. And that cost us money. And I said, kaya magkalala dyan, pangbanda natin dyan yung Mandanas. Now, the myth or yung legend is now, we can, together, all of us, say, not true, or not knowing talaga sila, or wala lang, may masabi lang, mema. We paid 1.2 billion. Ulitin ko po, no? Iba po yung PYO sa 14. Iba pa po yung current, yung mga nakikita niyo, yung mga pagawaing bayan natin, kuryente, tubig natin. Tapos yung lumang obligasyong opisyal sa bangko ng DBP at Land Bank. In 1 year, nakayag ba tayo? 1.2. Nang hindi natin nararamdaman natin, nakaraos tayo. So it's true. So it's a myth on what they are saying before. Now, yung myth na, ang tawag yung mythbuster. Mythbuster. Kaya naman pala. Ngayon, imagine kung wala kang PYO, hindi ka nanuba. Kasi tingin ko dyan, panunuba yan. Binili mo ng pako, hindi mo binayaran. Anong tawag doon? Suba. Yeah? Binili mo yung gamot, hindi mo binayaran. Ginamit mo yung kuryente, hindi mo binayaran. Ginamit mo yung ganito, servisyo, hindi mo binayaran. So, sa akin, panunuba yun. But, just for the sake of conversation, nakatawid tayo. But still, I'm going to face the turbulent year. Because, obligation is obligation. Bagamat hindi ko yun ginawa. Pero ayoko kasi magmukha ang Maynila na manunuba. Because it's also bad for business. Hindi rin maganda Premier City ka So we fulfill. Hindi nga lang nila ako ma-attack. Talo init. Talo init. Pero hindi ibig sabihin, susubain ka. Kasi you cannot lie with facts for example, nabawasan ko ba yung utang ng 800 million sa Lionel? Opo. Nabawasan ko ba yung utang nung tinanggal nila yung Lionel, hindi nila binayaran, kumuha sila ng 2 kontraktor na nagkalat ng basura sa Maynila. Tama, mali. It's a fact. Bude-budega, smoke mountain ng basura. Hindi rin nila binayaran yung 5 buwan, 250 million. Tanong, nabayaran ko ba yung mga yun? Nabawasan ko lahat. Kinakamot ko. Unti-unti, lahat sila nababayaran. Plus, yung kasalukuyan nating ginagasta with regard to our regular operation.
Ngayon, Maynila.
Ito, sa padok ko.
Sa amin yung saksakan.
Nakita ko yung rumble na yun.
Okay,
Last year, di ba?
Yung lugar ngayon, arati doon, riot, mga kabataan talaga, alam ng station 4 yun. Bakit hindi sila naglalagay na doon ng outpost? Yung mobile outpost, may mga cycle, naman sila. Lalo na yung wee hours, yung 12 hanggang 3. Gising pa yung mga yun ang gugulo. Ngayon, tanong ko ganito, Mayor. Sabi mo kanina, i-record
na sila.
mga pangalan ng mga Ibig sabihin nun, pag ni-record,
Sasubmit sa school.
ng police at saka barangay. Paliwanag mo nga para
Lahat ng minor data na na-involved on those who violated the ordinance, future ordinance, the records should be submitted to their respective schools. And at the same time, it will be core part of our records in UDM and PLN.
Kasi
Ngayon, pwede sila mag-aaral sa Maynila, baka tanggapin sila sa private. Basta sa Maynila, hindi pwede. Sa private, bayad sila. Kung tatanggapin pa sila. Lalo kung expulsion yung nangyari sa'yo. Expelled ka ba?
Kasi ganito ngayon, yung mga involved dun sa saan, yung mga inuman, mga pangkat ng mga kabataan yun na minor, tapos curfew.
Oo, may curfew.
Nangyari po yun, curfew. Ano yun? Wala bang ano yung curfew law?
Araw-araw inuhuli. You'll see it in our chat group. I think, ngayon lang yata lumalim ang mata ni J. De La Puente. Hindi na siya mapagkatulog eh. Kasi talagang talo. It's a cat and mouse. It's a perennial situation. Kasi ganito, kinalawin kita. Kasama na LESPO, pero hindi pwedeng naka-front ang LESPO. Yung civilian authority, which is in this case, MDSWD. Yung social welfare natin. Pagkalawit sa'yo, rehistro. Patatawag ang magulang, labas. And so on and so forth. Kasi yun pala yung ordinansa natin. Safekeeping. Safekeeping. But, with this upcoming ordinance, kung ako bata, magdadalawang isip ako. Or lilipat na lang ako ng, kasi pag na-penalize ako, lilipat na ako ng labas ng Maynila. Or, baka mayaman yung nanay nila, pwede sila sa mga private, marami namang private school sa Manila.
Kasama ba dyan sa involvement na yan, yung PTA?
Yes.
Yung
Barangay, PDA, city administrator, chief of staff, MPD, private sectors, principals, teachers. Ano to? It's really a composition. Then para siyang, the EO 29 is enabling this group to come up with a plan on top of whatever it is today with regard to safety of the environment, school environment, na ano pa pwede namin magawa together to be submitted before the Sangguniang Commission.
Ang nalawa yung tanong ko, sakayon ka ba na i-censor na yung mga social media sa kabataan?
Ako? Sa totoo? Hindi, ito walang biro. Ito walang biro. Ang dami nating iniisip paano papatayin yung IP address. May VPN naman. Hindi makaka-access din. Okay. Ako, suggestion ko lang. Baka wala nakakaisip. Baka lang. Lahat ng social media account, we can coexist because it brings business opportunity and certain relationship to one another and reaching the world. And in fact, some of it learning outlet na. But, ito, payo ko suggestion ko lang. Gumawa kayo ng batas na lahat ng social media account ay verified. Tapos na usapan. Subukan mo mangupal. Subukan mo magbanta. Subukan mo mangmolest yan. You are a verified account.
When you say verified, paano?
Verified, there are things that you need to submit. Yung mukha. IDs. Kung wala ka namang kinakatakot, bakit kaya hindi magsasubmit ng mukha mo? Yan nga, hindi ka pala naka-iPhone. Hindi rin naka-iPhone to. Pero ba yan yung pag nag-ano ka, pag first time mo, di ba? Ayun, meron, di ba? Ayun, sorry, hindi ko na alam eh. Di ba? So when you create an account, whether it is Viber, whether it is, tapos SIM cards must be registered. Implement nyo na ng gusto yun. Attached to a person. Once you use a SIM card or a number, it is attached to you and unique to you. Once you are a verified account holder, hindi ka na makakapag-dummy account. Hindi ka na makakapag-molest dyan ng bata. Bakit? Kasi once you are verified, you can easily be found by our enforcement unit. Domestically and internationally. O tingnan mo pag hindi nagtinuan lahat sa...
So, pwede ko sabihin, kung ayaw yan sa...
I-verify lahat ng account. Lahat ng account. Okay lang ako TikTok, okay lang ako FB, ano yan, Instagram, or kung ano man. But the one who's going to make an account, to socialize digitally, to engage digitally, must be a real person. Sa real person naman mo kami. Oh, real. Sa totoong buhay, hindi naman pwede 3 isko. Hindi naman pwede 4 na isko. Hindi naman pwede 5 isko. Isa lang ang isko. Ako si isko. Hindi talaga. Pata, I hope you take note of that. It may not be a great idea, but it's one thing na magkakaroon ng kapanatagan ang bawat isa. Na kapag ang lahat ng sasabihin mo o gagawin mo at pati mga namumulesya, mahahabol natin kapag sila'y went beyond or violating rules and
Yari ka.
ayari ka, Pat. Wala na yung mga top name, ano yun? Yung mga account, Abdul, pag makita mo, hindi, pansinin mo yung iba, tapos pag kilik mo, wala mo ba? Ang friends na 3. Ang lungkot ng buhay, 3 billion, 3 lang ang kaibigan mo.
Nakalak ba yung profile?
Kasi, but somebody is operating it. For whatever reason, I don't know. Good for them. Maybe they get paid to do that, whether to promote a business or
Yeah,
somebody
troll.
else. Hindi. There is upside, downside of trolling. Sometimes they use it for business, what you call the magnifying. Yung particular, masarap ang tubig na ito. Ganyan. And so on and so forth. But, ako, ito challenge ko sa Facebook. Challenge ko sa Twitter. Meron na sila eh. Meron na silang verification eh. But they continue to allow new account without being verified. In fact, kung di ako nagkakamali sa X or Twitter, you need to pay to be verified. May, may bayad. I don't know, yung premium. But hindi kailangan may bayad eh. Kailangan maobliga ang TikTok, YouTube, lahat ng social media o social networking ng mga account doon ay may tao sa likod and verifiable. Ayun. Maniwala ka sa yan. Ubus yung account na yan. Hindi ako naniniwala. Ilan ang account sa Pilipinas? 70 million? 70 million? Oh. Ibig mo yun, pati sa bundok ng Tralala. Nag-Facebook yun. Hindi. Let's be honest. I've been around the country. I don't know. Ikaw mo, nakita mo naman, di ba? Ni kuryente nga dun, wala, wifi pa. Oh. Diba? So if you look at and plot the numbers of accounts in the country, geographically, ay parang lahat yata mayroong Facebook o TikTok. Kaya, kaya.
May dagdag ko lang, Mayor. Yung mga kabataan na mahuhuling at violate na ng mga batas na yan, importante na maitanong kaagad sa kanila o may isama kaagad sa detalye from them kung anong school nag-aaral. Dahil kung talagang pagbibiginan natin na may expel sila sa...
Magde-database.
Yes.
We will accumulate database of our existing students in the city, which we have. All we have to do is to collate and bank it. We have this system, ArcGIS, that we created. We've been using it for assessment. I think we are the only city in the country who have the entire city Trigima. Yes. Trigima. Literally. Kaya namin kwentahin yung metro ng building mo for purposes of assessment. Kaya namin malaman, alam mo, dati dinideklara mo, 3 palapag ka lang. Tapos nakausog ka ng konti, 4 na palapag ka pala. So visually, 3 ka lang. Pero sa Manila, hindi na. So these are the data gathering system of the city na unti-unti, that's kino-compartmentalize namin. Nandun yung kaagapay, nandun yung accident, heat map, baha, emergency, kung saan laging may aksidente o crime, and so on and so. If we put that name in our database, it will be forever there.
Yeah.
So, alam namin sa eskwelahan ka, someday, somehow, we submit your name to PLM or UDM or a school. Ano ka target? Flag
Listed.
ka. Ayun, mahirapan talaga. Walang magiging buhay ang makulit na bata sa Maynila. Kailangan na natin magdisiplina. Wala kang future talaga.
Last two questions sa kanya.
Go ahead.
Hello po, ako po si Kaya. Tagatang po. Sa tingin niyo po ba 100% masosolusyonan ng expulsion ang karahasan sa eskwelahan at hindi po ba ang pagtangkal sa pribilehiyo makapag-aral sa State University ay isang anti-poor?
Oh, ayan. O dyan may magpapatayan sa tanong mo na yan. Hindi, totoo. I have to confront it. Una, it won't solve. But it will save future students. How can it be anti-poor? You can go naman to UP. You can go naman to UP. You can go to, ano ba bang public schools sa Manila? Oh, sa ibang lugar. But not in PLM, not in UDM. Because when we gave you privilege to have a better future, may kaakibat na responsibilidad yun. Now, they may argue, is it anti-poor? No. Kailan naging anti-poor na gusto kong iligtas yung pamangkin mo? May pamangkin ka? Wala. May kamag-anak ka? Pinag-aaral na anak mo. Pinagmamalasakitan ko na sana magkaroon siya ng ligtas, maliwalas na school environment. You are all welcome here. In fact, marami nga nag-aaral dito. Ito, mind you, buksan yung data ng PLN. Marami dyan ng Manilans.
Yes.
Garantisado yan. Kapuputol ko pa daliri ko. Whether doktor, whether doktor, nurses, lawyers, and all other courses. So, it is not about who's poor or who's rich. It's about the safety of our children so that may kapanatagan ang damdamin ng bawat ina, ama, o magulang na ang kanyang anak na sa loob ng paralan ay maging laging ligtas. Oh. Pero yung ibinigay na pagkakataon, ulitin ko, may responsibilidad. Walang pinagkaiba yan. Mon, huwag kang mag-alala. Yung basura, hahakutin ko sa tapat ng bahay mo. Pwede bang makisuyo? Huwag mong ilalabas sa oras na hindi dapat ilabas. See, I'm doing my job to collect the garbage, but you're doing your job as a citizen. Because you don't want to throw your garbage there, kasi pag umulan, good to me. So, pag tinignan mo yung prinsipyo na yun, it works, it would be better, no? It would be better if people and government work hand in hand instead of identifying such act on a negative way. And hearing some, alam mo yung lata, talagang maingay yan pagka konti ang laman. Pero yung
Puno.
nakararami, tahimik lang. Ayan ang aking concept. And I may be wrong, but I guarantee you, hindi pwede maging antipolo na bibigay nga ako condominium sa squatter. O, I mean, ayoko kasi magbuhat ng bangko eh. Kung meron man nakakaintindi sa mahirap, siguro ako na yun. Lalahatin ko na dito sa pamahalang lungsod Ako na yun. Ako na yun. Tiyak yun. Tiyak yun. Kahit sa conversation namin lahat. Yung iba ko naman mga kasama sa likod bayan, nakaranas din ng hirap. Kaya lang hindi sila kumain ng tira ng tao sa basurahan. Hindi sila nag-sidecar board. Hindi sila nag-pedicab. Hindi sila nangupahan. Hindi sila naging squatter. That's why I know it very well. So the intention of your city is not to regret later on for not doing anything. I would rather make mistakes of doing something and fail from it than doing nothing and watch elementary students, high school students, ipinapasok natin sa puntod, dala ng kapabayaan natin bilang tao.
Meron lang akong isang question, but before that, I'm just curious, no? Because ang napapantasan also, no? Way back in 77, when I entered Pamantasan, inasos ko lang 100 pesos. I'm just curious, how much, magkano ngayon ang for one
1 year operation.
1 year? Oh.
I think easily about, to operate PLM about 800-900 million.
I understand you already played
When I left, when I start as mayor, from 250, when I left, it became 350. When I left again, it went down to 250. Now, recently, a few weeks ago, during our board, and I said, pumanatag kayo. Bukod sa i-update ko yung aming obligasyon. At yung lumang obligasyon, dadagdag ko. Ngayon, dadagdagan ko pa ng 50 million. Ibabalik ko ulit doon sa dahan-dahan tao ng pag-angat ng tulong na pera sa PLM. Which is, this year, this coming budget season, magiging 300 na ulit. We are getting help from Shed. But the amount that they're giving is not sufficient anymore. And the board and I and others are really trying our best for Shed to add to the cost per unit. Kasi may perang nakukuha sa national kaya lang hindi na sapat. 8 years old na yung value. Let's just say, naging mabuti ang ekonomiya natin. At 3% inflation times 8 years, that's about basic number is 24% depreciated or additional cost to operate. May step increment ka pa. Di ba? Step increment sa gobyerno. Kaya talagang hirap na hirap ang PLO.
Okay, Mayor, yung question ko na lang. Kasi we've been talking about the juveniles, yung mga bata. Yung, kasi yung Maynila, has a different approach on the seniors. No? What makes you different from other cities and municipalities of Manila? Dahil sa Manila, iba yung mga natatanggap at saka yung mga privileges na nakukuha ng mga seniors. What makes you different from other cities and municipalities of Metro Manila?
Well, siguro, I cannot speak on behalf of other. Basta ako, mahal ko yung mga matatanda sa Maynila. Why? Wala namang perfectong mundo. Walang perfectong mundo. Yung kinatatayuan natin ngayon ay bunga lamang ng nakaraan. At ang nakaraan ay pinamunuan ng malalakas na individual nung kanilang kabataan. Kaya ito ay paglingon ko as mayor and the city sa aking mga nakatatanda na ipagmalasakit man lamang sila hanggang sa huling hantungan ng pamumuhay nila sa lungsod ng Manila. Dito man lamang makaramdam sila sa dami na nagdaan. May isang bata pinagmamalasakit o may isang pamalan pinagmamalasakit yung kanyang mga senior citizens. Yun ang gusto ko talagang ma-achieve para sa mga lolo at lola ko. Hindi malaki, pero may katiyakan. Hindi malaki, pero may lamang malasakit. Hindi malaki, pero punong-puno ng pagmamahal at paggalang. Yun yung message ko talaga sa mga lolo at lola. Na maramdaman lang nila, buti pa to, binili ako ng insure eh. Itong anak ko, dami-dami pero hindi man lang bili. Alam mo yung mga urban, yung mga kwento-kwento, ay binadalan ako ng cake. Yung simple joy. I call it simple joy. And this is one way show the city government and we today showing our gratitude to our elders. The way who we are as Filipinos. Kung paano tayo pinalaki nung galang ng matanda, mahalin ng matanda, ipagmalasakit ng matanda. We were brought up that way. So culturally, customary,
Yes.
ganun talaga tayo. O dito sa Maynila, yun pa rin ay nangyayari. Na siya namang bagay na sana, o yung mga susunod na kabataan, ganun din nilang ituring yung ating mga nakatatanda.
Okay. Wala nang tanong from the floor. Meron lang akong isang papalo sa'yo.
Oh, sure.
Wala na po. Isang kalahating taon na lang.
Oh,
Election na naman. Hindi pa ba nagbabago ang isip mo?
kaya mo na sila doon.
Meron daw, may balita kami, may nakukumbinsi sa'yo na tumakbo sa mas mataas na posisyon. Aminin, meron na ba?
Ako ulitin ko. Minsan na akong nangarap. Siguro man di masama yun sa isang bata. Yeah? Oh, then you pay. Then I move more. Now, salamat sa mga taga Maynila. Kahit kami nagulat eh. You can ask Cesar or the team. We were overwhelmed with regard to the result of the mandate. Me running again. Na ano kami na, gusto namin manalo, siyempre, kandidato ka, gusto manalo. Pero nung nakita namin yung numero, we were overwhelmed. And that is already a statement of a failure of the past. Ganun yun. Wala nang kwentada doon. Kahit ano pang excuses. Pumalpak, sumagsak, nalugmok. Kaya yung galit ng tao, ganun na lang. Now, having said that, I think nasabi ko na ito nung araw, at ulitin-ulit na yun. I owe it to the people of Manila. It is an honor, humbling experience to be given a chance to be of service to the people. Again. Ang tawag na second wind? Second wind. May tawag doon. Not everyone will have. Di ba? Kaya talaga, nakikisuyo ko na kahit sino, kahit whether dilawan kayo, pinklawan kayo, DDS kayo, o wala kayong kulay, and so on and so forth. Huwag na kayong mag-alala. Huwag nyo na ako isali dyan. Kayo na lang magsabunutan. Okay na ako dyan. Okay na kami rito sa Maynila. And in fact, tulungan nyo na lang kami. With all humility. Ako, pinalaki ako ng nanay ko, huwag magpakatimawa.
Timawa.
Yung harbat ng harbat. Yung mga malimos. Totoo naman yan, sinabi ng nanay.
Kalabit pe.
Kaya hindi ako namalimos eh. Sidecar boy, basura. Pero ito, para sa mga taga Maynila, ipinanghihingi ko sila. Tulungan nyo na lang kami sa Maynila. Tapos lambingin nyo yung mga taga Maynila. Baka pagdating ng araw, iboto rin kayo nilang presidente. Ako, todits na lang ako sa Gedli. Help me to successfully deliver our visions aspirations for the people of Manila. Addressing MBN, minimum basic needs. Education, healthcare, housing, and jobs. Doon nyo kami tulungan. Mapasino man kayo. Kapartido ko man kayo, hindi. Katulad na nangyayari sa amin ngayon ni President Bongbong Marcos Jr. Hindi kami magkapartido, pero buong kababaang loob akong nangingi ng tulong para sa iyo. Para sa iyo. Para sa mga taga na siyang pinakinabangan namin. At ganun din. Kaya, huwag kayong mahiya, o pinklawan, o dilawan. Hindi, pero promise. DDS. Halika kayo sa Maynila. Switzerland ng Maynila. You know what I mean politically? Manila will be a Switzerland. Open city. Lahat kayo talaga. Promise. Huwag kayong mahiya, ha? Hindi ko mo lagi kami magkadagit ni Bongit, ayaw nyo na pumunta. Pag may dala kayo, ako, mainit na yakap ang aabutin nyo on behalf of the people of Manila. But kidding aside, promise, no. Dito na lang ako. Hayaan nyo na ako dito. Ha? Marami pa tayong gagawin. Next year, pagpunta ko rito, bago ko i-announce, gusto mo, dito ko na i-announce. May isa tayong gagawin na I think something to hope for. Malaki-malaki to. Dito ko, Cesar, dito na natin i-announce. Magpa-press con tayo dito. Pagka i-announce ko yung, wag lang ngayon. Kasi this is full of details. Especially sa taxpayer. You will have something that you will see. Ay, salamat. Napakinggan na kami naman mga nagbabayad ng buwis. Ayan.
Okay,
ayan ang head.
natin.
Hindi, ano yan, tinitira namin yan. Kaya lang kasi it's full of details. So we don't want to preempt everything. But, promise ko sa Plaridel, regalo ko. Dito na lang tayo mag-press con, sir, pag ilo-launch na natin. Ha? Kaya po, muli po, pasensya nyo na ako, mga pinklawan.
Oo, may sinasabi sila na kayo mayor. Kung baga, balimbing daw kayo.
Uy, actually, demokratik ko ako, hindi ako papalit ng partido. Wala akong papalit ng partido.
Okay.
To Vice President Sara, to Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, to the senators, these are elected officials. One of a handful locally elected official will be honored, happy to receive them in Manila. Most especially, pag may dala silang tulong. Hindi sa akin, kundi sa mga taga-Maynila. So that is what I want. That is our goal. Kaya sa mga Pinklawan, Dilawan, o DDS, o kung ano ba ang gusto ninyong itawag ninyo sa inyong sarili political, welcome po kayo sa Maynila.
So, with that being said, we would like to thank Yorme Somareno.
Yes.
Pagkalagay siya rito, talaga ang daming istorya.
Mahaba ang thread dito sa social media. Iba trending na naman si Mayor. Maraming salamat po yan, Yorme. At we hope to see you again para po
Soon, this year.
Para po may announce na yung scope na yan. Yeah.
Dito ko.
Thank you so much. And thank you to our media friends. Maraming salamat po. And we also again would like to thank our sponsors.
Of course, mga sponsors natin, Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation, Palcor, Philippine Community Office, PISA, and of course, the Office of Mayor Somareno.
Salamat po. And good day to everyone. Happy weekend.
Thank you.